Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rival Recon here on Anfield Index Pro. I'm Harry Sethi. The table-topping Reds went 13 points clear in the Premier League last week, courtesy of a 2-0 win over Newcastle at Anfield and Arsenal's draw with Nottingham Forest. Slot's side followed this up with a smash-and-grab 1-0 win over PSG in the first leg of their round of 16 clash in the Champions League, and the manager was keen to emphasise that they now have three finals ahead of them: Southampton and PSG at home, followed by the Carabao final against Newcastle. On this pod, we'll be focusing on the first of these three finals against a despondent Southampton side, whose main aim at present seems to be looking to avoid the record for the worst points total for a relegated side in Premier League history. Joining me to discuss what's been a hugely demoralising season for Saints fans everywhere and how they can rebuild in the future, I welcome back Martin Saunders from the Total Saints podcast. Welcome back, Martin. Good to speak with you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been quite the roller coaster since we last spoke. To be honest, it's been nothing short of heartbreaking.
No, I was going to say it's been a pummeling that you've been on the end of as a club, as a fan base. I remember when we last spoke, obviously ahead of the game in November. Now, end of November. We sort of discussed Russell Martin at length. We discussed pragmatisms. I think that's been a running theme this season. I think actually around managers, around just where there is a place for pragmatism and where that lies in terms of philosophy and all this stuff. And we could definitely come on to talk about that when we sort of speak about Russell Martin's demise as Southampton boss. But even just going back to that previous game, I mean, one of the things I remember about it was how tough it was. I think for lots of Liverpool fans going into it, you thought, okay, here we go. High pressing. There's an opportunity here to make it a comfortable win, and it wasn't a comfortable win. I think it's probably one of the stronger performances I'd seen actually from Southampton this season against top six opposition, I suppose. Well, actually, although against Manchester United, thought it was equally, if not more impressive. And then I even remember we spoke about other players that you might want to see come into that game and have an impact into the strikers as well. I remember, of course, I can't remember his name right now, but a giant of a man came on and made quite an impact as well. But I wanted to ask you, just cast your mind back to that game, your thoughts of it, and then do take us through the season since then. As you mentioned, it's been a very tough ride for Saints fans.
Yeah, it has been a really tough ride. The game against Liverpool actually was one of the better performances of the season. The league game. Actually was the man that we were talking about, the striker. He played in it and didn't have a bad game, to be fair. You've got Canate and Van Dijk, and they're just such strong centre-backs, aren't they? They're so hard to get anything against, really. And that's why Martin went with him, really. It was almost last throw of the dice for him at the time. He was just looking to grab onto anything he possibly could. And look, though he wasn't adapting the way he was playing, he was trying different players, and Paul was one of those on the day. And I actually thought we played all right for periods of the game. We've never had like a standout like 90 minutes this season where we've been really good for 90 minutes. We've had moments in games where we've been okay, and it was the same with that Liverpool game. Really started it fairly well, and then we just petered off in the end. And Liverpool just had that quality that shone through on the day, and went on and won the game. And obviously we played you in the League Cup as well. I thought it was a much changed side, wasn't it, that day? But yeah, the league game finished up 3-2, didn't it, in the end? But it was 3-2. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's two. A Salah penalty.
Salah late penalty. Yeah. Well, Southampton had the early penalty, didn't they? After Liverpool took the lead, Mateus Fernandes then, I remember, scored a really good goal. He's been a really good little player for Saints this season. Really tidy little player, Mateus Fernandes. Yeah, he scored. He hasn't scored loads this season, but Salah the double late in the game, wasn't it? He scored the pen. 83 minutes. I'm just looking at it now, 83 minutes. But yeah, since then, it's been a bit of a disaster, really. I thought Liverpool were going to absolutely batter us on the day, and we've got a different manager now, so things are very different to how they used to be.
So, I mean, we spoke about it at length, I think, prior to that game, just because, as you mentioned, it was pretty much the last roll of the dice for Russell Martin around the time of that previous match. But
Mm.
um, just remind the listeners about sort of, I mean, in your estimation, why things went so wrong for him this season, and sort of why that decision was ultimately taken to sack him.
Yeah, look, I really liked him. I thought I said to you before when I come on, I think he had a way about him that definitely brought the players together. The players really liked him. He brought a football club together. It was quite broken when he came in because Saints weren't in a great place when he took over, being relegated from the Premier League, and it was it was a big job for him to take on. They wanted automatic promotion back to the Premier League, and he had a decent budget, but they brought a lot of loan players in. And when we come into this Premier League campaign, they signed two of those that were on loan last year, and all the fans were desperate for them both. It was Flynn Downs and Taylor Hartwell-Bellis. They both become permanent, but the squad business around that wasn't good enough. They didn't bring enough experience in, and I spoke about it a lot on a lot of podcasts and shows I've been on. It was all about bringing in experience. You need Premier League ready players. I think you need people on the staff, on the backroom staff that are Premier League ready as well. And Saints were just so ill prepared for this season. Martin had a style of football that he wanted to play as well, and it backfired because we just didn't have the personnel to do it. And he continued to do it and continued to do it, defeat after defeat. And after we played you, it just got worse and worse. It just become a bit of a mess, really. We after we played Liverpool, I'm just looking at the fixtures now. We played Chelsea at home and got beaten really heavily. We lost 5-1 on the night. We had a few injuries. In between the Liverpool and the Chelsea game, we played Brighton, drew 1-1. Decent performance down there. Then after that, it really capitulated. Really, like I said about the Chelsea defeat, we went to Villa, didn't have a shot on target, lost 1-0, could have been 6-0. We played Tottenham at home and got hammered 5-0. We were 5-0 down at half time, and that was the end. That's about the end for him. And Russell Martin was sacked with just one Premier League win under his belt, and they've turned to a man in Ivan Juric to turn it around. And unfortunately, he's had no impact whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, I think that Tottenham game you mentioned, I think, conceding a goal in the very first minute to James Maddison. So I thought, and again, I think 12 minutes, 14 minutes, 25. So these quick clusters of goals, I think that the nature of that performance, I think, on top of everything that came before it, obviously then did do for Russell Martin. And once that decision's been made to part ways with Russell Martin, what was your opinion that the club went out and went for a manager the profile of Ivan Juric? I mean, even the 18-month contract says everything about sort of what their view was, just to see whether or not he could have an impact, and then of course make a decision at the end of the season. What was your opinion about him as a manager to come in, and in terms of what he has tried? I mean, you mentioned there that he's had no impact whatsoever, but I imagine he's tried to change things from a tactical approach perspective, different from what we saw under Russell Martin.
Yeah, it's been a total different approach from him, like totally different. The way he plays football is totally and utterly different. He likes to play with a three at the back. He likes to play with a right side centre back and a left side centre back with somebody in the middle. Plays with wing backs. He likes to. Well, he said he wanted to play heavy metal football. I've not seen that. High energy, high press from the front. They've been unable to do that with the personnel he's got. And he said he was going to make us harder to beat. That hasn't happened either. So all in all, they bypass midfield a lot. They look to go into the channels quite a lot. They look to go into the front man a lot. Just doesn't have the personnel to play his way at all. It's just falling flat.
So it sounds like, from what you're saying, and again, talking first about Russell Martin, but then also about Ivan Juric as well. I mean, these are two managers that are attempting to play styles of play that the squad doesn't enable them to do. I mean, we've spoken about this. Like I said, it has appeared to be a running theme this season, but with different clubs. I mean, I'm thinking about Tottenham and the injuries they've had, and still persisting with their approach. I'm thinking about even Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, like being appointed mid-season, clearly with a very distinct identity about how he wants to play football, and none of the players really to actually sort of try and play that way. The results have been atrocious. Performances not much better. It does seem to be a running theme this season of managers coming in, very particular way of playing, irrespective of the.
All right, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts, and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.